All right, hey, I just wanted to check in because I finished another book, and that is Master of the Game by Sidney Sheldon. This was a book that my mom recommended to me. It's one of her favorite books that she's ever read. She's a huge Sidney Sheldon fan. She has, I think, almost all of the books he wrote, besides a couple. And I mean, you can tell she read this book quite a bit. it's uh, she kept getting excited for me to read it, so I had to. But anyway, uh, this book, Master of the Game, is about the dynasty, sort of a family's lineage that goes from let me see in my notes, 1883 to 1982. So it covers almost 100 years of this family's kind of rise to power and then them being terrible people. It's very, very interesting and entertaining. It is one of the few books that I have ever read where you are meant to hate the main characters. They're all bad people, and you're kind of rooting against them, but you're still sort of rooting for them. There's only like 3 good people in this whole book. Everybody else is just terrible to each other. They all have alternate motives. They're deceptive. They lie to each other. There's a lot of drama. It's super good. It's honestly, it's really good. But the whole story starts with a man named Jamie McGregor. He's a Scottish man who hears of people getting rich down in South Africa from finding and mining diamonds, and he decides to go and try to get some wealth. So he leaves his family behind and goes down there as a young man, and he ends up getting scammed by this wealthy businessman who's just a dickhead of his own. And Jamie decides that he's going to get revenge. And I'm not going to go too much into it of how it all plays out because it is very entertaining. It only covers maybe this much of the book. Not a whole lot of it is about the diamonds. But he does get his revenge in many ways and starts his own empire, essentially, his own business empire that becomes way more successful than the other man who originally scammed him. In that time, too, Jamie gets married to that man's daughter and kind of does it out of spite, and he treats her terribly. It's really bad how bad he treats Margaret in this book. In the beginning of this book. They end up having a couple kids. One of those kids is she ends up being Kate Blackwell. Her name's Kate McGregor for now. And she is the person who is in line to take over their business, Kruger Brent Unlimited or whatever it's called. She's the one who takes it over. So when Jamie passes away, eventually she ends up running the company. And throughout almost the whole book, besides that beginning part, she is in charge of the company. She's a terrible person. She's worse than her father. She's very, very selfish and narcissistic. If anybody else wants to do, she makes sure she gets her way. One of the best examples comes from the very beginning of Kate's story of how she gets her way. There is a man that's 22 years older than her. She's young. And she forces him essentially to fall in love with her and get married to her, and they end up having a kid. It's kind of weird, but she gets her way. That kid ends up being, he wants to be an artist, and Kate wants him to be next in line to run the company when she eventually passes away. And so she's constantly fucking up Tony's life, trying to push him in the direction of running the company, and she's always interfering in his personal life without him knowing. And it's fucked up the things that she does to her own son. Tony ends up getting married and has twin daughters, Eve and Alex, and falling in line with the family's lineage. Eve is a crazy, terrible person. Even at 5 years old, she tried to set her twin sister on fire. She's not a good person. She's not a good person throughout the whole book. Alex is a good person. Her twin sister is a good person, and very naive, very gullible, loves her sister, follows her sister everywhere while her sister resents her, and crazy family dynamics. Kate is trying to figure out who's going to be next in line out of them to take over the Empire, because Tony didn't end up working out for something you'd find out in this book for the reason why. It's crazy. It's a lot of deception, a lot of outright lies, plots of murder. There's a lot of crazy. I just said a lot, but there's a lot. There's a lot of crazy shit that goes on in this book, and it is nonstop. It really just, it's one thing after another throughout the entire story, and it keeps you very engaged. It's very entertaining. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. I went into this kind of thinking it was going to be something that it wasn't. One of the things that is in here a lot, again, I said a lot again, but there are a couple of rape scenes, and those are a little uncomfortable to read, but just in case you are somebody that has a hard time reading that kind of thing, those are present in this. It's crazy. That's the best way to describe this book. It's just crazy from start to finish, and you hate everybody, and then it ends. And it is a very satisfying ending, I will say that. I enjoyed the way it ended. I thought it was a great ending to the book. Certain characters got what they deserved, certain characters did not, in my opinion, so I don't know. But there was a sequel that was made to this by somebody else, because after he died, there's this other lady, I think her name's Tony something. She took over and tried to keep writing, I guess, in his world or in his universe or something, and made mistress of the game. I'll say I don't have any interest in reading that, because I think this had a really good ending. But that's out there as well. So anyways, I highly recommend anybody trying this out. It's a pretty short book. It's 500 pages, but it doesn't feel like 500 pages, I'll be honest. It goes by very quickly, just because there's nonstop things that are happening in it, so. But anyways, I appreciate y'all for watching, and thanks.